People, Deluded, I'm back again. Good morning, and I hope you're all doing well and safe on this Monday bank holiday. For me, it's been a good weekend. My Sunday League team finally, in our last pre-season game of pre-season, managed to win our game. Hopefully we start next week's league with a bang. Obviously Arsenal claimed the Community Shield on Saturday and things like that. I'm a big Maitland-Niles fan, and it seems like there's been a mini rotunda of sorts. He seemed to be someone to go to raise funds. While we don't know what's happening, he seems to be staying and in line for a new contract, together with obviously being called up for England. And there's a couple other dealings, you know. You've got the Torreiras, you've got the Guendouzis, you've got, you know, the Aubameyang's contract. We keep hearing this will be the week. Obviously Gabriel, it seems to be happening. You know, Arteta wouldn't be speaking about it if it wasn't. But until any of these things are, the I's are dotted and T's are crossed, we don't know what's happening. But away from that, there's been some transfer news over the last 24 hours, and again, I don't know the validity of it, but might as well speak about it. Now, first things first, courtesy of ZRAFC on Twitter, a good Twitter account. He's one of them good Arsenal accounts. There's quite a few. There's LT Arsenal. There's bare of them Twitter, Mr. Arsenic. There's bare of them that just, yeah, the work they put in to bring little news around Arsenal and rumours and the rest of it is very good. So they're part of the people I follow for these rumours, because Twitter seems to find out everything first. And yeah, I'm pretty sure you lot will probably following the same stuff. Like, I'm just a football man. I don't know for transfers and finances and stuff, and these accounts do a good job of that. But we know people need to be moved off from this club. Now, Arteta, again, maybe what's cost us with Guendouzi is that, you know, we've kind of, by Arsenal standards, publicly let it be known that we're going to let him leave. Obviously, in negotiation tactics, we know he's got potential and stuff, but we might not be able to command the fee. So I'm saying that. Remember when Arteta kind of gave them comments along the lines of, you know, it's a clean slate, everybody starts again sort of thing. The latest club to be linked with Guendouzi is now Valencia. Now, I don't know if Valencia have money. I don't know Valencia's landscape. Only their fans do. But didn't they have to sell players to raise funds, and they couldn't pay some wages? So how are they going to work a deal for Guendouzi on loan with an option to buy? Obviously, he's not a world-class player and things like that, but you get what I'm saying. It's another team linked in Spain with him, and he's been linked with Valencia, Villarreal, PSG, Juventus. He's linked with bare teams, but clearly there's been, at this moment in time, no formal offers, so it's all air. And he seems to be, I know what he's saying, what Arteta's saying about chances are given again, and again there's quarantine issues and stuff like that, but you'd imagine that Mesut Ozil, Matteo Guendouzi and Lucas Torreira are probably not part of his plans, because they're not about, like, well, Arteta allegedly said Torreira was training, but he weren't involved, so they need to keep it moving. We'll see what happens in that regards. On the Torreira front, it's the same old news in relation to Fiorentina, how Arsenal want 30 million. We're prepared to take 28 and bonuses. So we'll have to see that situation. He's been linked with a lot of clubs in Italy, you know. There's a bag of reasons for Torreira wanting to leave. Obviously, the latest being he doesn't seem like he's a fit. I would like to keep Torreira, but I understand if he leaves to raise funds and Arteta don't believe in him. But I just feel, at least at this moment in time, without even talking about Partey coming in, we're a bit light in terms of quality options in midfield. And I think Torreira is one of them. I think if we sell Torreira, if Partey doesn't come in, we're in trouble. Because, of course, Partey, you know, he could play as a DM, but he's a box-to-box midfielder. I don't see anybody with ability to put a foot in now. Onene did his thing on Saturday, as has Xhaka, since he's been reinstated into the team. But I just don't really, for me, you lot know me, I like to look at my midfield and see different sort of midfielders. And I don't really see enough variety. I don't really see, you know, with Ceballos gone, we've lost that break in the lines, trying to control the tempo of the game. Torreira leaves, we've not got someone that can put a foot in. I believe if Torreira's played in his natural role, he could do well, to be fair. And I would like I said, I would like someone with that. But if he leaves for, you know, not playing football, he wants to go to Italy, which apparently is the word every few weeks, then it is what it is in the relationship with Torreira. But I do feel, whether you believe in Torreira or Guendouzi or not, and clearly midfield is an area we're looking to address, which Arteta has said, but we'll be light in midfield. You let Torreira and Guendouzi go without bringing somebody in, or making sure you bring somebody in. Who is our options? Onene done his thing in the FA Community Shield, but again, long term, over the course of the season, is he going to show levels? I don't know. Xhaka, I love Xhaka, but he's only one man. Do you get it? Ceballos isn't back here. You could lose Guendouzi and Torreira. We're light in midfield. You're then relying on Joe Willock, where I prefer him in that pivot role, but Arteta clearly sees him as a 10. Obviously, Maitland-Niles can do a job in the midfield as well, and I'm sure there's other things that could be done. Hopefully, we move for a midfielder, in my opinion, but we'll have to see. Apparently, RAI Sport is saying Arsenal have agreed a deal with Napoli for Sokratis worth 4.5 million. The player has agreed to move to Italy, and that's great news for us. You know, Sokratis, he's been a model professional. I do think, you know, he has been inconsistent, but I did think over the course of the season, when he did lose his space, he was unfortunate with his injury. I think he's a bit unlucky as well in that football's a harsh game, in that he's not a bad defender, he's just not levels. And what hurts defenders like him in the present day is the ball playing stuff. And obviously the system Arsenal want to play with ball playing, he's extremely awkward. So he's probably the most limited on the ball out of all the centre half options. He's obviously 32. He's been allowed to leave. Again, this is a good thing because you get 95 grand off a week off the wage bill. If I'm Napoli, I'm pretty sure Napoli, without knowing the details, apologies people, without knowing the details of this move, because I'm just a fan, I'd be, you know, if Arsenal did make Napoli on it, it's a masterstroke. But Napoli, 95k a week for a 32-year-old. I know in Italy standards 32 is the new 22. But I think, you know, Napoli have shown they won't be held to ransom. I do think if Arsenal have done that, we've worked a number. Have we agreed to pay part of his wages? Have we agreed to pay up some of his wages that Napoli won't match? You know, has he agreed to drop his wages? Who knows? Because he might concede, you know what, I'm a professional footballer, you know, I've earned a lot of money. Money's important, but I can take a little drop. And maybe, you know, that's backed up with, maybe he was given a 2-year deal. Again, I don't know the details. Maybe he was given a 2-year deal because he dropped his wages. He gets a 3-year. Now, you know, less is more because, again, you're going to earn less week on week, but you've got an extra year, for example, so there's more finances. For Sokratis, you know, 1 minute he wanted to, you know, he said he would leave, and then his agent's comments recently said he wants to stay. You know, to be fair, if Sokratis believes in Arteta's project and he wants to be a part of it, then I don't agree. I think he needs to be moved on, but I get it. If he thinks he can, you know, get a space in his team, I understand it, which apparently he has said. So again, this is all just paper talk, but for me, it's a respectable fee for a 32-year-old that is probably 4th choice, 5th choice centre-half. You know, Tierney's going to play centre-half, maybe even in the back 2 before Sokratis gets on that field, people. So yeah, man, Sokratis gets to go play football and do his thing. Sokratis, moving on from Sokratis, better yet, and talking about Sead Kolasinac, someone who's linked with a move back to Schalke, linked with being back their captain. There's been rumours of permanent, there's been rumours of option to buy. The latest I've seen on that, courtesy of Blind, Kolasinac will happily take a 4 million pay cut in order to return to Schalke, but he is demanding that he is made club captain. It also said that he wants to return home for personal reasons. Any loan deal will include a purchase option. Schalke is further ahead than initially thought when it comes to Kolasinac. He should get 2.5 million from Schalke and 2.5 million from Arsenal during the loan. So his salary is being made up. For the time being, he does without the rest. Schalke and Sead have already met 3 times. Schalke want a purchase option, so he knows the club. You know, it's his, I don't want to say his boyhood club, but it's who we bought him from and things like that. The chance to return to Germany, potentially be first choice, be more comfortable if it is for family reasons, I salute it. And to be fair with you, you know, you might not set up in the Arsenal future, because I know you come off the bench for Tierney, but at the end of the day, Tierney is the first choice left back without a doubt. Maitland-Niles, you want to see him play on the right hand side and take Bellerin's place, but he's done his thing at left back. Saka, you ideally want to see him playing further forward, but he can do a job there. That's 3 men that can do a job. And if you really was going to force it, you could do something like move Cedric over there and put Bellerin over there, sort of thing. So again, the Cedric one's reaching, but there's about 3 options before you play a natural in that position. So it is what it is in that regard. Kolasinac, I don't care about a man's wages, but you know, if he was on 100k a week and he's a serious rotation option, like 1 week is Tierney, then it's him, there's not a problem. But you've got arguably someone who has lost his place, is behind in the pecking order to, if he was harsh, Maitland-Niles, who is a centre mid by trade, Saka, who is a winger. They're seen as better fullback options than him. You know, Tierney is the guy. Tierney's got age on him as well. Tierney is substantially better than him, so you're not going to play beyond Europa League, beyond coming off the bench and all of these things. So if he wants to move to play, that's good. For us, we're giving him 100k a week. He's got a 2 years left. That's great for him if he wants to sit on the bench, but for us, we're wasting our resources. So can we look at other things, whether we bring in a cheaper left back that's more, you know, sort of what we want? Because I actually don't feel Kolasinac is a bad player. At a time, way before Tierney and Saka and these guys, he looked like a threat down the left-hand side. The problem is, it's too hit and miss with his crossing. It's too hit and miss with him as a player. His injuries, you know, he gets these little niggling injuries, and when you're getting 2-3 a season, they're all adding up, sort of thing. And just the consistency, like maybe it's because of injuries, whatever, but I just don't think there's been any real prolonged consistency from Kolasinac. So if we do move, listen, he's one of them. If he stays, he stays. But if we move him on, I don't mind, people, because we need to move on these sort of players where we can better use our resources. So we'll have to see what happens in that regards. But hopefully it's positive, man, because, you know, these are 4 players that I've spoken about, arguably, that I won't say all of them have no future under Arteta, because if Guendouzi kept his mouth shut, he'd have a future to some degree. I do think Torreira can have a future here, but he's open to leaving. Sokratis and Kolasinac can stay, but I think they'd rather move him on. And Sokratis, out of all of them, is the one that probably will play the least football. But, you know, on the other hand, if you can get 100k off the wage book, well, 195k between Sokratis and Kolasinac off the wage book, if you can sell a want-away player in Guendouzi, you know, and you can decide over Torreira, you're putting your finances as a club in better positions. So if we can go for these parties and go for these, confirm the signing of Gabriel and do whatever else Arteta wants to do in the market, because, you know, you could argue we need 2 central midfielders. We've done well with a centre-half. You know, depending on rumours, Martinez will sign a new deal, but you might need a backup goalie by that logic. We've signed a 10/winger for the squad in Willian, but there's still a lot to be done, people. You know, it's nice to play well against Liverpool in the Community Shield and have a solid performance, but at the same time, you wanna see us get some real tools for Arteta to work with over the season. You know, Saliba, he's going to have ups and downs, but that's a good tool for me. Gabriel, that's a good tool. Willian, you know, Willian is underwhelming in the sense of it's not making you sit up and think, wow, we're going to win the league or anything like that. But what I'm hoping with Willian is he shows some competency, some consistency, and you can play around with Willian. He can do a job in the 10, which I would like to see him initially, obviously on the left wing and the right wing, and he's got experience and the rest of it. So it's a shrewd addition, but the thing is, them sort of signings there in isolation, it's not enough to take us forward. If you address the areas in the squad that need improvement and bring in quality, consistent and competent individuals, then William can only help us. But we need to get a move on in the transfer front. Hopefully we do. On that note though, I've got nothing more to add. It's always a pleasure. DG, I'm out.